Okay, so now we have set up our GitHub Actions job. Let's go ahead and test this and see that it works. So to test it, all we need to do is head over to our Git project, and we're going to click on the Actions page. And you can see here that there's no action created. So it basically has some automated steps to set up workflows and things like that. We don't need to do that because we've already set up our workflow. All we need to do is head back to our terminal, or if you're on Windows, you use the PowerShell or the Git Bash window. And we're going to commit our changes. So we're going to git add dot, then git commit -am, and I'm going to write the message added GitHub Actions. And then we push this to GitHub, git push origin. So what this will do is it'll push our code to GitHub. And because we have set up a new GitHub Actions config, and we have a trigger for on push, it should, in theory, run our job. So if we just refresh the page here, so we still don't have anything yet. Let's just check if the code has been pushed up. Yes, we have our workflow. Now let's see. Here you go. So after a few seconds, it detected that we had our config, and now it's actually running our action. So here we have all the workflows. So this is the checks workflow that is referencing the checks name of the file. So we got checks and then we've called it name checks. So that's here. If we click on that, you can see that it's running the job here, and it uses the name for the commit that we added. So whatever the last commit was will be the name here in the workflow run. And you can see it's running off the main branch. So here you can see we got a tick. So if we click on the job, so this is the job that makes up our workflow. If we click on test and lint, you should see the different steps. So these steps are added automatically, or this step, I should say, the setup job is added automatically by GitHub Actions. But the rest of them down to here should match up with what we have inside our config. So you see here we have step log in to Docker Hub, then checkout, then test, then lint, then post checkout and post login to Docker Hub and complete job. These are added automatically. So if we expand one of these, let me just make this big. So if we expand the test, you should see the log output here, and you can see that it ran our unit tests. And it said test 0 tests because we haven't added any tests yet, but we know that it is running the test successfully. And then if we click on lint, you should see that there's not much here because there were no linting errors with our code. Now if we go back to the code, and let's say we make a change that would break the tests or break the linting. So let's open up app. Let's go into app and let's just open up, let's say, urls.py. And here I'm just going to go and type 1 = 1. So this will break the linting because you're supposed to have some spaces on the either side of the equal sign here. So if you save that and you go ahead and do git add git commit -am, and we'll type break linting, and we'll do git push origin. Oops, gotta make sure you spell it right. Git push origin. This will push up to GitHub, and then our actions will run. So if we click on actions, you should see the new one runs. We can click it, and it's currently in progress. So we click test and lint. It's currently doing the setup, so we'll just wait for this to finish. But we should see that the job fails. Okay, so you see here we have the red X. If we go back to actions, you can see that the job failed because we have the X here. If you have it configured, then you probably also get an email to the account that's associated with GitHub that tells you that a job failed, although this isn't always enabled on all accounts. So if we click on this, you should be able to click on the workflow and then the step in the job. And you can see here it says that we have a couple of errors, the missing white space around operator, and no new line at end of file. And this is because we broke the linting here, so we didn't add the new line, and we had this syntax that doesn't work here, so we need the white spaces here. This would be correct if we ran this, it should work, but what we're going to do is, because we don't need this variable, I'm just going to delete this, and then we'll just commit it again. Commit am fix linting. git push origin. And then the job should run again. And this time it should pass. So we'll just wait for this to run again. And once we see this green check here, we know that the job is now passing. Okay, so I got an error here again. Let's just see what the issue was this time. So test and lint, let's see. So I still have no new line. I must have accidentally not added a new line here. So you can actually configure Visual Studio Code to automatically add a new line at the end of all Python files. And that's what I'm going to do after this video because I've made this mistake. Okay, so now that I've added the new line, I'm just going to save this again. Do git add dot git commit -am and then fixed linting. And this should go ahead and fix the job. So we go back to the jobs here. You should see this run and then it should complete successfully. So we'll just wait for that to finish and then we're done with this lesson. Okay, so you can see that the job completed successfully this time after I actually fixed the linting issues. So if you look under lint and test, you can see that there are no issues and we got the green tick. So we know that the job is now completing successfully. So that's everything for setting up GitHub Actions and setting up to log into Docker Hub. Now let's move on to the next section.